When did you put Gen Z in their place? I picked up my grandma's phone call and all I heard was crying. Not regular crying, but that broken kind of crying that old people do when they feel completely helpless. She was sitting in her car outside McDonald's trying to explain what happened. All she wanted was a small black coffee. That's it. $1.09 worth of coffee that she'd been ordering the same way for 20 years since Grandpa died. But the kids working there had other plans. She said when she walked up to the counter, this teenage girl with pink hair just kept looking at her phone. My grandma stood there for 5 minutes before someone even acknowledged her. When she finally ordered her coffee, the girl rolled her eyes and rang up a large caramel frappuccino instead. Grandma tried to correct her politely. The girl called over her manager, who was maybe 19 years old with a face full of acne and an attitude bigger than the restaurant. He told my grandma she was confused and needed to speak up. She repeated her order louder and clearer. Small black coffee. They gave her a Coke. When she went back to the counter to explain the mistake, a different worker started filming her with his phone. He was laughing and saying something about another Karen video for TikTok. My 80-year-old grandma, who still writes thank you cards and calls everyone sweetie, didn't even know what TikTok was. She asked one more time for her coffee. They gave her chocolate milk. By this point, 3 employees were gathered around filming and laughing. One of them actually said, "Come on, lady, just crash out already so we can go viral." They wanted her to lose it. They wanted her to scream so they could post it online and make fun of the crazy old lady who couldn't handle a wrong order. Instead, she just started crying and left. She sat in her car and called me because she said if Grandpa was still alive, he would have handled it. He would have made sure she got her coffee and her dignity. I told her to go home and that I'd take care of it. I called my buddies Rocco and Gavin. These are guys I've known since high school who would do anything for family. I explained the situation and we came up with a plan that would make those McDonald's workers think twice about disrespecting elderly customers. The next morning, we rolled up to that McDonald's at 6 a.m. right when they opened. Rocco and Gavin went in first wearing ski masks and hoodies. I came in 30 seconds later in a nice suit looking like I meant business. The same pink-haired girl from yesterday was working the register and her eyes went wide when she saw my boys. Rocco walked up to the counter real slow and leaned in close. "You know Dottie, old lady who comes in here for coffee?" His voice was low and serious through the mask. The girl nodded quickly and I saw her hand reaching for something under the counter, probably a panic button. "That's our boss's mother," Gavin added. "You disrespected the wrong family yesterday." I stepped forward, adjusting my tie like I'd seen in movies. "My associates are upset about how you treated Mrs. Dottie. She's very important to our organization." The manager kid from yesterday came running out from the back. His face went from confused to terrified in about 2 seconds when he saw the masks. He started stammering about company policy and customer service. "Listen carefully," I said in my calmest voice. "Mrs. Dottie is going to come back here for her coffee. You're going to treat her like royalty every single time, because my friends here have very specific instructions about what happens if she ever calls crying again." Rocco cracked his knuckles for effect. The sound echoed in the empty restaurant. "We clear?" I asked. Everyone behind the counter nodded like their heads were on springs. The pink-haired girl was actually shaking. The manager looked like he might faint. We left without ordering anything. The whole thing took maybe 3 minutes, but I knew it would stick with them forever. They thought they'd just threatened by actual criminals over coffee. That afternoon, I called Grandma and told her to try McDonald's again. I said maybe they'd gotten new management or something. She was hesitant, but agreed to give it one more shot. An hour later, she called me back, and she sounded 20 years younger. They'd given her free coffee and a fresh apple pie. The manager personally served her and asked about her day. Everyone smiled and called her ma'am. She said it was the best service she'd had in years. "I don't know what changed," she said, "but it's nice to be treated like a person again."